Hot Toys is bringing the heat for the 40th anniversary of Aliens with an announcement of Ellen Ripley Artisan Edition, Ellen Ripley Collector's Edition, and an Alien Warrior. We're going to talk about it all in this video. I'm going to tell you what I think about all of them, and I'm going to tell you one reason I think that you should go with one over the other, and we're going to talk about it all in this video. Let me know in the comments below if you're hyped for this and if you plan on pre-ordering these before we even get into the photos. But let's jump into it. Let me know what you think as we go in the comments below. And I'm just going to tell you right now, from the very first image, I always try to go based on this first image that they show up. So anytime it's on Facebook or Sideshow or whatever, I try to look at the first image. I think right off the bat, I'm very, very excited to see an Artisan edition of this Ellen Ripley. Now look, I'm somebody that's really kind of gone towards the sculpted versions over the Artisans. Now if it's the only way you can get the figure as an Artisan, I usually just get the Artisan version if it's a character I really want. Ellen Ripley is a character I desperately want in the collection. I'm very excited to be pre-ordering this, and I hope I can get my hands on the Artisan edition. And one of the main reasons is I actually think this hairstyle for this character lends itself very well to the Artisan treatment. A lot of times we see a lot of the long, a lot of times either really long curly hair or really long straight hair. This, we're getting a very curly, short hair look, and I think it's going to be very interesting to see that in Artisan form. So again, as always, these are just prototypes. I definitely want to see how this looks in the final product. But as always, you're going to have to pre-order this because I could see this one going by fast, especially with a big issue I have with the Collector's Edition. We're just going to switch over there real quick because I want to show you my big issue with the Collector's Edition. And I have it zoomed in so we don't miss it. This hairstyle right here on the Collector's Edition is absolutely atrocious in my opinion, and I'm not trying to be a hater. I'm really not. I try to really look at this with hype and really look at this with, with excitement. But I can't help it. This Collector's Edition does not excite me whatsoever. And that's frustrating because honestly, I was going to try to save a little bit of the money and just go for the Collector's Edition and not have to stress about getting in the queue for the Artisan. But since it's the 40th anniversary of Aliens, and it's Ellen Ripley, and this is the other version we can get, I just think that this hairstyle does not look great. I think they need to make a lot of adjustments to this sculpted hair. In Hot Toys' defense, this hairstyle doesn't look completely off from what Sigourney Weaver's hairstyle looks like in the Aliens movie, especially in some of these scenes where at this point in the film you can see some of the bruising on the cheekbones. By that point in the film, this hair does kind of look like this, but it just almost looks like a helmet, and you can kind of start seeing a little bit of that spaghetti string kind of look, and it just looks like a big glob of plastic that's just put right on her head. You know what I mean? And that's just unfortunate because I think that there was a way to make this look a little bit better. I think the hair is actually too big on going out this way and a little bit too short here. I think the hair should actually be a little bit higher and kind of flow down a little bit if you kind of look at her hair in the movie. Now here's the thing. I'm actually thinking everything else looks really great. I actually think the sculpt work looks amazing. I love the eyebrows. I love how the eyebrows have personality to them. I think the separate rolling eyes look great. I think the cheekbones on Sigourney Weaver, which is like a big part of her facial features, all the way down to the jawline look incredible. I actually even think that the slight open mouth looks great. But that hairstyle just throws everything off. And while we're on it, we're going to take a look at the Artisan, so don't worry, we're going to be taking a look at the Artisan. But while we were talking about the hair, I just wanted to go ahead and quickly do a quick contrast to this, and we're going to move this down so you can kind of see it. Now from here, it doesn't look too bad. It doesn't look too bad, and if we go to another picture, it doesn't look that bad here either. So when you kind of start seeing it from different angles, you're starting to see what could be. And I just think that on these really close-up shots, and again, take that with a grain of salt as prototype pictures, but you would think that they would put their best foot forward with the prototype. Everything else of this figure I'm really excited about and think looks great on this Collector's Edition, but that hair just isn't doing it for me. Right here, I think looks really solid. Right here, I think looks really solid. So in real time, I'm kind of taking back a little bit what I said. Let me take a step back a little bit because I said it was atrocious. That's a big claim. Let me take a little step back. This actually looks really accurate and really good based on the way that the hair looks. I think that this picture, this does a disservice to it. I think they should get rid of this picture in the prototype images. I really do. I think this just looks terrible. But when you go here, I actually think that this looks good here. And so I'm taking back a little bit what I said. That picture was atrocious, but the more I'm looking at these photos, and this is why it's fun that I look at it in real time while we're watching the video, is this looks really good and looks really accurate. And I think that when you start seeing it from different angles, it does look really good. That looks really good with the sculpted. That looks really good with the sculpted. And we're so focused on that, we're not even looking at all the other different things with this figure. Right here, doesn't look terrible, but you're starting to see a little bit more of the issues I have with it. I think it takes away from the sculpt a little bit. But for whatever reason, this picture, tell me if I'm going crazy, but is it me or does this picture just look completely different from these other ones? This looks way better than this. And so, you know, maybe I should have just looked through the pictures first, but I try to look at this in real time. This doesn't look as bad as I thought. It still doesn't look good. It just isn't atrocious. So I'm kind of coming off that claim a little bit. But I do think that when you kind of look at these photos and you look at the sculpted hair, I do see a little bit of issues with this. And I do think that the Artisan, if we kick it over to the Artisan version of this, and we kick it over to these photos, you can just see how, in my opinion, this is just much stronger. This is just a much stronger look for the character. I think it actually fits her sculpt really well. I think it actually brings out the really good features of the sculpt. You can see the battle damage near the cheekbone there. And I just think that it's less distracting, if that makes sense. It's less distracting. And that's weird because a lot of times with the artisan hair is distracting. It's almost all you look at. But with this, I think that it just looks so much better with the Artisan Edition. And I think that that's going to drive people to be pre-ordering this one. And I think that this was going to be selling out quick anyway, but I definitely think now with the sculpted version not looking quite up to par with where I would think it would want to be, I definitely think people are going to be opting for the Artisan Edition, especially for a 40th anniversary announcement for a highly sought after figure like an Ellen Ripley. But you can just see right here how good this looks. I mean, this looks really good in my opinion. You can kind of see how the Artisan hair is really doing a great job of bringing out those features, and it's not distracting. It doesn't look like a helmet. It actually flows like real hair. And again, we're going to have to see how this looks like when the actual figure comes out, because you never know. But for right now, I think that this looks really good, and I really think that it shows off the incredible work here on the Sigourney Weaver sculpt. I personally think that this sculpt is top level. I think it's great. I think everything about it looks good and accurate to me. I think the cheeks and the cheekbones are just incredible work. I think that's incredible work on the cheek and cheekbones, because Sigourney Weaver as an actress has a very unique style with that, and I think that the Hot Toys has captured it really, really well. Let's keep going on. So the one negative I can say is a lot of times with these figures, and this is just how it is, but when you get side images like this, you can kind of start getting the immersion broke a little bit, because you can definitely see the jawline here. And again, I understand why it's there. I'm not complaining about it. I'm just saying when you get it from this angle, you can kind of start seeing that the head almost looks a little bit too big for the neck, and it's kind of like protruding outward. Still a cool shot though, but again, I'm trying to be fair, because I don't want to just be on here and just be all hype. But I'll be honest with you, I'm all hype. I can't wait for this. It looks incredible. We haven't even talked about the Alien Warrior yet. So let's talk about something else other than the hair, because you get the idea. We've been looking at the hair for a while. You know what I think about it. I think the sculpted looks average, and I think the Artisan looks very good. And you can kind of see the different weapon here. You got a little bit of a flamethrower here. You got a little bit of the different weapons. You got the rounds on the gun strap there, and you can kind of see the minimalist version of this this costume design in this movie. So again, I think it lends itself perfect to tailoring, and I think it looks really good. You can kind of see the silicone arm there. Nothing here. You can kind of see the elbow with the bend. No seamless wrists. So it definitely is going to have, you're going to be able to move around the wrists and do stuff with the gun and stuff like that. So I think that's totally fine. That's exactly how I would want it. And you can kind of see the different, the pants, and you can kind of see the different shoes. And if you've been able to take a look at that Rain Carradine figure from Alien Romulus, which by the way, those would look incredible together, you can kind of start seeing the inspiration for that character, how they really kind of paid homage to Sigourney Weaver's character in this movie with the shoes, the space cargo pants, whatever you want to call them, and the shirt. So again, I think this looks solid. This egg is gigantic. These eggs are gigantic, by the way. These eggs are gigantic. I just want to put that out there. But you can see the flamethrower there. I think that the look of this character, like I said, the eyebrows, I think it's great, man. I think that fits Sigourney Weaver so well. These eggs are enormous, man. Anyway, I'd have to like rewatch the movie. Were the eggs this big in the movie? Maybe they were. But again, you can just see, in my opinion, again, they're going to want, they really want, you know, they're limiting this to, I believe, 3,000 pieces. And I just think the Artisan version looks absolutely incredible. So if you're a big Aliens fan like I am, you're definitely going to want to get a hold of the Artisan Edition. Do I think you'll be happy with the sculpted? I do. But I just think that for me, for a character like this, This is a character that I want. I'm not saying they're never going to revisit the character, but from Aliens and have it in 40th anniversary box or whatever, I just think that this is going to be the essential version of that character and the only one I'm going to need in my collection. Again, if they did do one from the first movie, I'd think about it, but this is the one that I would definitely want. I think that this is like the iconic look for the character, and it just looks great. So there's the Artisan Edition for Ellen Ripley. We're going to just quickly kick it over to the sculpted one more time. And again, the more I look at the sculpted, to be fair, it doesn't look as bad as that first image did, but a couple of these images don't look great. So let's take a look at the M41A pulse rifle with slidable fore-end, retractable stock and removable magazine. Really cool. I don't really utilize this a whole lot, but it's still a really cool feature to have. Some of the Avatar figures have that. A lot of these different, the Rank Paradigm figure, a lot of these different figures have this now, and I do think it's a nice touch. And then we went over to the Artisan again. So again, you can kind of see the difference between the Collector's Edition, the Artisan. I think everything looks really good. I think both are worth getting if you love the character, simply because it's the character. I think the base looks really good. But for me, it's Artisan all day long. And I'm normally not somebody to say that if there's multiple versions of it. But for this character and the way the hairstyle looks, and now I'm not thrilled with this look. And again, it's mainly this photo. It's mainly this photo, but this does not do the figure justice. This does not do the head sculpt justice. This looks definitely takes away from all that, and that's unfortunate. So for me, it's Artisan all day. Now let's kick it over to the Alien Warrior Deluxe Edition here. And what's crazy about this Alien Warrior, this is going to retail at $340. That's a steal in my opinion. I know that that's super expensive. I do. I know that that's still expensive. I'm not saying $340 is still not $340. But for a figure like this, the Alien Warrior Deluxe version, and with the Deluxe version, you can see that we're going to be getting this gigantic egg. This gigantic egg. Maybe the eggs were this big in the movie, man. Maybe I'm not seeing things right. But you can kind of see the three interchangeable mouths here. You can, and we're going to take a look at all this. Let's just keep it rolling. We're going to keep the pictures moving pretty fast with the Alien Warrior, but I'm going to go dive deep into this. Now, I have Big Chap on pre-order. It's one of the few pre-orders I still have available, or I still have going right now. But Big Chap is a character I really wanted. Just an incredible creature design. But Alien Warrior is one that I definitely have to have as well. And I definitely think that this is, if you are a big fan and you already have the Big Chap and you wonder, do I need the Big Chap and the Alien Warrior? That's up to you to decide. But this is Alien's 40th anniversary. And to me, the anniversary stuff, even though it's just a little bit of a logo on the box and everything, it does have a little bit more weight to it, in my opinion. But you can kind of see this kind of has that Big Chap look to it, a standing up xenomorph. The scored xenomorph looked absolutely incredible if you want more of that type of style. Or you can just do this and just get them all if you really wanted to. But if I had to pick between the Alien and the Big Chap and the Alien Warrior, that's what it really comes down to, is which look do you like? The Alien Warrior has more of this like bluish, grayish, silver finish, and it has a little bit of different characteristics. The Big Chap, on the other hand, kind of has that more that matte finish, I guess you could say. It's like a grayish black matte finish. To me, the Big Chap is just, that's the first time you ever saw that character design, that creature design, and there's something for that. With Aliens, just incredible creature design from an incredible franchise and two just masterpiece movies. And so you can kind of see how good this looks, man. I mean, it's going to be hard to say no to this, even though I have the Big Chap on pre-order. And I'm not one to say this anymore. I'm being more selective, more careful with what I get. But this, to me, for the Aliens 40th anniversary, I think the Alien Warrior and Ellen Ripley are both must-haves for Alien fans. Both must-haves for horror movie fans, sci-fi fans, sci-fi action fans, like just anybody who loves history of film too, like history of action films. Man, this looks incredible. You can see the side view here. Just looks phenomenal, man. I mean, this is just incredible. You can kind of see him with the sculpted Ellen Ripley right here. And this Alien Warrior just looks phenomenal. You can see the base, very reminiscent of that base with Ellen Ripley. And man, this figure looks incredible. And it's up for pre-order on Sideshow right now. So you can go ahead and do that. And you can kind of see right here the highly detailed, hyper-realistic sculpting and paint. You also get the two pairs of interchangeable seamless silicone arms. And then you can kind of see what you get with the deluxe version here, which is the Xenomorph Egg Tendril themed display base. attached to the main diorama base. So that's what you get with the deluxe version. I think it's worth it because I don't think it's any extra money to get the deluxe version. And you can kind of see right here the upgrades they've made along the way. This thing looks absolutely phenomenal, and I just don't see how you can be a Hot Toys collector and an Aliens fan and not be just geeked out of your mind for this. And even though I had some choice things to say about the head sculpt with that, or the hair sculpt with the Collector's Edition Ripley, I still think that that's a solid 7 out of 10, 8 out of 10 with the way it looks. I think the Artisan Ripley, just because it's a character I really want, and this Alien Warrior from Aliens, I think that those are definite must-haves. But if you're somebody who wants to save a little money and still go with that Collector's Edition Ellen Ripley, I definitely think that that will still be a phenomenal figure and one that you'll be happy to have in your collection, but only time will tell. But this is what you get with Alien Warrior. We've seen all of the announcements for the Aliens 40th anniversary. Let me know in the comments below if you plan on getting the Artisan, if you're going to stick with the sculpted, or if you're just going for the Alien Warrior. Let me know down below. I'd love to have a conversation with you in the comments below. Check out some more of my content on the channel. I have a lot of different types of content, not only Hot Toys content, but also movie merchandise, promotional tie-in videos, just movie marketing type stuff as well. Basically, the whole channel is about getting hype for the biggest movies and really appreciating the collectibles and the hype surrounding the movies we all love and we want to collect and have in our display. Thank you so much for watching. Definitely talk to me in the comments below. Hit that thumbs up button on your way out. I truly appreciate it. And if you love it here, hit the subscribe button so you can be notified of the next video when I upload. And I would love to be able to have you as a subscriber. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.